All right, traders, we are going to do an emergency recap. I just came back from the gym and I was ready to do my recap. And I literally just took a stupid trade, blew like $500, and that needs to stop. And that's stopping right now. So let's get the recap started. Am I recording? Yes, I am. It's a green day, ending it in a bitter trade, to say the least. But very pleased with the way I follow my rules, with the way I executed, and I'm giving myself an A rating. This is something that is very important for beginner traders to understand, is that trading successfully is not about P&L. It's not about whether if you make money or lose money. It's all about execution, because you can have successful trades that end up losing you money. You can have successful red days, right? You can expose yourself to a profitable strategy. You can expose yourself to a trade that has edge and still lose. That right there is still a profitable behavior, and it feels counterintuitive because you're not making money, but in the long term, that type of actions is what is going to make you profitable. What you have to be very careful with is breaking the rules and getting paid for it, right? Averaging down and it's working. In the moment, it might feel like, oh, look at you, such a good discretionary trader. But the reality is that you are reinforcing very bad behavior that is going to cost you way beyond whatever you made in that trade, and is going to charge you dividends throughout time. So it's all about execution, right? Execute correctly. Buy where you're supposed to buy without fear. Cut your loss where you're supposed to cut it without fear. Sell your winner where you're supposed to sell it without FOMO, without greed. That's all that matters. And what that creates, it gives you a new purpose. You're no longer worried about finishing green or red. You're only worried about getting those A's, right? Getting that A score. So for me, most of the day it was pretty much going sideways, keeping it extremely tight, having that mindset of day trader rehab, drawdown protocol. Not exposing myself to anything if I wasn't really in love with it. As you can see, I did take some stabs as I was sitting during pre-market, and then all of a sudden we had ticker symbol CRE came around. That was a good opportunity, and then we also had MSS that I made $1,800 on. So let's go over these two tickers and why did I even trade them. So how my workflow typically looks like is I sit down, I take a glance at the leading gappers, I see if there's something that interests me within that. It has to be the correct price range, it has to have the correct spreads, very tight spreads so that I can manage risk on. It can't be extended more than 200%. It has to have breaking news. Ideally, it's not Chinese, all of that, right? And today, if I recall, we didn't have that when I sat down. We had we actually did have a stock. I forget the ticker. Let's see. DAIC, something that I successfully avoided again. Today it almost feels like it's going to have its first red day, right? If we go to the daily chart, that's a very popular setup. Short sellers love trading on extended small caps. So this thing had been pushing from lows of 40 cents all the way up to $6.68. Hard cap, 7 a.m. Showing you some edge right there. If you want to learn the hyperscaler strategy, check out our trading community. Check out our course in the description down below. I go in way more detail about what the strategy looks like. Why am I buying why am I buying where I buy, why I sell where I sell, and kind of like the mindset of being a hyper scalper. I was going over the comments yesterday. A lot of people complaining that my day trade recaps are pretty much just me running my mouth rather than me teaching things. And honestly, that's exactly what this is, right? I don't want to teach you shit. This is my journal of my journey towards 8 figures. And if you can learn something along the way, that's wonderful. But if you don't, well, the might is on a mission, right? I am a trader first, teacher second. All right. But with that said, I do hear you, and I'll try to make the recaps a little more valuable. I'll throw you a bone. How about that? So CRE, this was the stock that gave the cleanest move. It started at 269. It extended all the way up to $8 a share. This initial move was so vertical that I actually didn't capitalize on it. My first trade on it was something that I've been saying every day for the past week. Trading, buying the dips against the huge psychological level of the 200 EMA. 200 EMA, right? Do you see this fucking line, right? Purple line, right? Support. The mighty buys it. It bounces, I sell it. Trading, trading is actually very simple. What's hard is thinking objectively. It gave a double bottom right here. I jumped in on this double bottom against the 200 EMA. And something important to note is that this is the 200 EMA of the daily chart, right? 200 EMA of the daily chart is not the 200 EMA of the 1 minute chart, right? Nobody cares about that one. Everybody cares about the daily one. And as you can see, it was well respected once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. That right there is a strategy. That right there is edge. You're welcome. I did have a hard time catching the first few algo spikes on it. I think I actually lost money on one of these whips on the way up. It was just so parabolic. It was very hard to catch. What's the ticker CRE? Hong Kong, China. Something else that I didn't love. Maybe more hesitant on the dips. But that was that. Was able to pull what? Like $1,000 off that ticker, $900. Not the best by any means. Most of my guys in the chat room, this was their biggest winner, right? You catch one nice trade in this front side, you can catch $1 a share, even with smaller risk. You're most likely sitting pretty. I think OHAD captured this. OHAD is very good at capturing the straight up candles like that. I am more of a pattern guy. I like when stocks stabilize a little more once they finally kind of like give a big rejection and then they start consolidating. That's when I can start planning on my trades rather than firing off the hip. These breaking news setups were working very well a few months ago, but now they're very tricky to trade. And how did I learn that? Well, I lost $30,000 trading it and refusing to accept that they were no longer working that well. All right, and then the other ticket that I did well on was MSS. This one, similar story, breaking news from 148 to 227. I don't think I traded anything on this, but I did buy this higher low, as I felt like we had bottomed out. And it also reminded me of VCIG, a ticker that I did fumble. This one, it gave the breaking news spike, then it shot itself, and then as it bottomed out, it reclaimed new highs. So I had this fresh in my mind. And this is another thing important to note when trading small caps, is that patterns do repeat themselves and they do rhyme, because small caps are so manipulated by retail traders, just like yourself. They remember things, right? They remember things, and it's kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy that if this happened just a second ago, people are going to remember that, and they're going to act commensurate to that. And because of that, the same shit ends up happening. This is very discretional trading. There's no setup. There's no real criteria. It's more of a vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel this is going to happen. I have a trade idea because it just happened on the other ticker. Because of that, I'm going to test this idea by taking in an entry against VWAP or wherever, my stop loss is going to go down here. And my stop loss means if the stock price reaches this level, it means that my idea was wrong. That's what a stop loss means. It doesn't mean that this is an even better price to get into. Of course, it's a better price to get into because it's cheaper than when you bought it. But your stop loss and you cutting a loss means what I thought was going to happen is not happening, or it didn't happen, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I did have a bit of FOMO because up until this point, I was sitting up like $700 on the day. So I did load up on this higher low. Risking lows is a good stop loss. And then we got this move from 184 all the way up to 228. We double topped. I actually had more size thinking that we were going to break through highs. And it did not. So that was another solid trade for me. And that was the day. I didn't feel like pushing my luck. I was so ready and had genuinely accepted that this was going to be a flat break-even day. And the fact that I pulled another extra $1,000 on that trade, almost $2,000, I was like, this is the Christmas miracle just before the market opened. I'm going to take it, and what should have been a break-even day is still a break-even day, but a little bit better. So very pleased with that. And more than $2,000, I'm very happy with the way I managed the risk early in the morning when I didn't have a ticker that I genuinely liked. All right. And tomorrow, same story again. It's like every day we start at zero. Right? That's the secret. Every day we start at zero. So tomorrow, I'm going to start at zero again. I'm going to see if I can find a trade where I can risk very little, hopefully make a few hundred bucks. And if I do start connecting, that's when I'm going to start risking a little more, and then a little more, and then a little more. Or if I show up to the market, I am patient, I take a few trades, and I instantly start going into the red, I'm going to quickly shift gears into defense mode, right? I am not reading the market well. The strategy is not working quite as well. Maybe the market is not hot. Maybe the stocks that are in play are large caps today, and I'm going to start reducing my size. Oops. Didn't realize that I was covering this entire thing. There we go. This is MOREDGE, by the way. We are a hyper scalper day trade tracker, trade journal. If you allow yourself to dream, you can put on a huge, massive goal like this one and go at it, right? This is right here my 8-figure protocol challenge, and so far, I'm 3% of the goal. Ohad was telling me that I shouldn't start this from zero. So I've made a little bit over $2 million day trading, and Ohad says I should have $2 million right here, right? And I should be 20% of the way of my goal. But at the same time, like, I started this challenge at a point where I thought my career was over as a day trader. This is where the strategies was no longer working. This is where brokers were banning active scalpers. This is where the market opened, kind of like stopped being the hot window, and short tellers were making money left, right, and center. And this is a point in my life where career could have ended. $2 million could have been good enough. Or this is that pivotal point where the fire that I once had, that I no longer had, got relit inside of me, and I do what I do best, which is to dream big and to work hard. I was in the fork in the road. Career ended, or let's fight those demons again. Learning curve all over again. We've been here before and we pulled that off without $2 million in the bank. Can we do it again? And that's the path that I chose. That's when I started the 8-figure protocol. And so I feel like I started like I was reborn, right? That's why I'm not tracking it from the very beginning. And who wouldn't mind an extra 2 milli, right? Then it means that I actually need to make 12 on my career. And the 8-figure name is very strategic, because does that mean when I cross 10 million, which will inevitably happen? Of course it will. But whenever that does happen, does that mean that I stop? Or does that mean 8 figures actually means 8-figure per year? $99 million is still 8 figures. What if it is 8 figures per year? So like 8 figures is literally like infinity. It can be like 8 figures per year. It can be 8 figures, which is 10 million. It can be 8 figures, which is 99 million, which is 100 million, right? There's like 3 ways the universe can like send me to the moon, right? 8 figures. Worst case scenario is only 10. Not a bad worst case scenario, but maybe it is 8 figures per year, or maybe it is 99. Still 8 figures. Anyways, that's the rant. That's the recap. Check out MOREDGE in the description. Check out our community in the description as well. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.